All right, man. Apparently, the Lions are the betting favorite to land yo boy, my guy, my man's Chase Young. So, I mean, it's like it's cool to me. I'm all good. I mean, a lot of us wanted him in that draft with Jeff Okudah, and him and Jeff Okudah might go down as two of the most recent draft busts out of Ohio State in a storied history, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, going back to back, and neither one of them did anything. And well, Chase Young got a victim through the injury, and I'll say this again, and maybe some Washington football team guys or commanders can chime in on this. From my understanding of it is, and I'm gonna say this every video because everybody don't hear it. From my understanding of it is that he went to a football camp and he performed when he wasn't cleared by their team doctors to perform. He re-injured himself there. It was significant enough for him to start on the PUP list. And ever since then, it seemed like him and the team been beefing. Now, he from the Maryland area. He not too far from that. So maybe he don't want to be there. But apparently after the little, spat thing, the spat, it's like they've been beefing, and, he wasn't showing up in certain, camps, or, I'm pretty sure there's voluntary camps, and they declined his 5th-year option. And that's going to be a problem with them declining that 5th-year option because you don't have that protection. So really this year, that kind of hurts his trade value, because when you don't have that 5th-year option, then you got to make a decision on him. And unless he have a big year, I'm pretty sure that defensive end pass rushing, pass rusher tag is pretty high. So I mean, do you get to him where he play like 6 games or 8 games, and then you make a deciding factor on if you want to pay him then? And then how much do you pay him? So it's a lot more that go into this than a trade itself. And if the Commanders, you don't want to let him go for peanuts, and then he turn around and he be a monster in Detroit. So that's the question. Obviously, you don't want to trade him in a division unless you're getting overly compensated, something that you couldn't get on the open market. So that eliminated a lot of the NFC East team. You don't do that, but yeah, I'm for taking this type of risk on this type of talent. That's just my opinion on it. But I understand if they didn't take the risk. I know somebody hit me up about Danielle Hunter and drafted Danielle Hunter. I'm good on that. Not Danielle. Is it Danielle Hunter? The one of the dudes from the Vikings that's holding out. I'm like, I'm good. No, he can play for sure, but I'm good. But that's just my opinion on it. But I mean, yeah, they should go out there and make it happen. You got the cap space. If they waiting on Teddy Bridgewater, I can care less. I'm not a Teddy Bridgewater. I'm a fan of the person, but I'm not a fan of bringing him here, because he, even as a backup, he don't have a durability to be a backup. And that's a huge problem for me, dude. But the Lions, the betting favorite, said Detroit Lions are currently the betting favorite to land the Washington Commanders and Chase Young, should he not return to the team that made him number 2 overall pick in 2020. Detroit's talent level has certainly improved over the course of Dan Campbell's tenure. Lions general manager Brian Holmes has revamped the secondary, but question marks remain amongst the D-line. And most of those question marks on the D-line remain because real quick, most of those question marks remain because of the interior linemen. And it seemed like they banking on Anazorki, which, Anazorke, which he been doing a little bit of field drills, nothing significant. So they banking on him to come back. I think a lot of people think that's insanity. So, but a lot of people think that's insanity, but it is what it is. But you gotta do, I mean, shit. But if he do come through, they look like geniuses. But their defensive line issues don't lie on the defensive end position. But one thing that really hurt them is it hurt Aiden Hudson last year. They had a lot of defensive ends injured, but this year they get a lot of those guys back healthy. But what continues to hurt them is that they don't have any pass rush on the interior. That's what they need. They need pass rush on that interior with where Aiden Hutchinson was had him and Charles Harris had to work inside and outside. And in my opinion, that wore them out. Now I think that might have led to Charles Harris getting injured. And people y'all was calling Aiden Hutchinson a bust. And I'm just like, what are y'all talking about? Y'all understand? Like he don't have nobody else. Kaminsky went out. Julian had came back after injury. It was a lot of guys that was in and out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, people just don't understand football. It's always knee jerk reaction. When you the one man army on like you think you ODB, you think you the one man army a son on the defensive line. You can't anchor especially no rookie can't anchor a whole defensive line by itself, especially when there's deficiencies in the secondary and at the second level with the linebackers. So think about that for a minute. That's all I be saying. But he got it together once he got more help across that defensive line. They got guys healthy. He got a significant amount of help. And then you start to see, hey man, can't want more about this. But it said, yeah, we're a lot further along than 2 years ago. We feel like, well, okay, he just saying we already know. So yeah, they got James Houston. I mean, shit, a lot of guys. So the Seahawks are second at plus 500. The Bears, depending on what betting book this is plus 600. Giants 600, 700, plus 700. I mean, shit, even if you the Texans, you probably want to make that deal. More than likely, they probably gonna trade to the Texans, other than the other three, because the other three are all, especially Giants. Shit, they got Taquan Barkley problems. He ain't even showing up because they ain't pay him. They paid Daniel Jones, and without him, Daniel Jones is still being called a bust. But you want to probably trade him in the division, and if you him, you probably want to trade him to the AFC. But yeah, if I'm Detroit, I make that call. You're gonna want to, they're gonna allow you to check out the medical and all that and see what's popping on that. But yeah, you make that call. See what it would take, but it's a risk there. Can he get re-injured? One. Two, what's the compensation? And then three, if he played well next year, at what point do we pay him? Or do we take the risk of tagging him? It's a lot of just different things that it's a lot of different things that go into that. So yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase chance, get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Financially, you want to support the channel, Cash App, $CJ Good 313. Venmo, CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. Appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Let me know what you think in the comment section about Chase Young possibly coming to the Detroit Pistons. Appreciate y'all. Peace.